Hello, my name is Arthur, and in this video we're going to carry on with making our pickup crystal item. So we're going to need to make an animation for when the crystal is found. So I'll make that animation named found. I'm going to make it 2.25 seconds and zoom in so we can see good. We want snap turned off. And what we're going to animate is the sprite. When we select an animated sprite, it goes over to the sprite frame. So we'll click on animation here to get that animation back. And what we're going to animate is the transform and the visibility. So we'll start with scale. At the start of the animation, we'll key in the keyframe at the proper scale. About a third of the way through, I'm going to change scale to be 3 times. Key that in. And then at the end of the animation, I'll change it to be 0.25. So 25% of its original size. And key that in. And then modulate, I'm going to put alpha to 0. Key that in. Important to note, that's at the end of the animation. And then at the beginning of the animation, I'll set the alpha back up to full and key that in. And that'll just cause it to disappear. So basically our animation is going to be the crystal gets big suddenly, then disappears. And all this happens in 0.25 of a second. So it happens very quickly. Alright, so the script. We need to add a script. And let's just delete this so that we're not confused here. This is kind of a remake of a video that I already messed up once. So we'll create that. And this one, we'll just close it down. So what we're going to need in this script is a couple of signals. We need animation finished. So we'll connect that. And we'll put an underscore right there. So that we don't throw an error, because that variable is not going to get used, that value. And then we'll just queue free. When the animation ends, it will queue free. And then the other signal that we need is body entered. So we'll connect a body entered signal. And for that one, it will be if body is in group player game manager dot pickups plus equals 1 body dot update HUD. Update HUD is a non-existent function in the body, so we're going to add that in. Function update HUD, and that would be $HUD. Oops. $HUD dot update HUD, and that function is already in the HUD. It was built in there. So that will relay the picking up of the crystal, and the pickups will be adjusted in the game manager auto load script. So then we would be $ animation player. And we can just do that. Dot play. Found. And that will get that working. Let's check out how much time we have. Okay, we're making pretty good time, so we're going to open up Audacity and make ourselves a sound. And I'm just going to move a couple things around here. It might bang on my microphone a bit. So I'm going to get a speaker up close to my microphone. And hopefully without dropping it on the floor. Okay, so yeah, I can't do playthrough while recording off the mic, so the best I can do is put the speaker close to the microphone, and it kind of gets in my way, so hopefully I can work around that and we'll get enough sound. So to make something like a pickup or a coin, I would use a pluck or record a sound on my microphone. There's all sorts of ways to come up with sound effects. But I'm going to use a generated sound because my microphone is busy right now. I'll try turning that up a little bit, and hopefully it's coming through the microphone. So basically we have a high-pitched pluck. The MIDI pitch is 110, and I've set it at 0.3 seconds. So I'll just generate that. To get it to be a little bit, to have more sustain so that it rings a little bit better, we can use pulse stretch. And that will sort of make the sustain a little longer. And this is kind of what I mean by sustain. I don't know if they describe sound the same way. That's from a very old computer where I learned that. So I'm going to put that into a fade in. So that's a pretty reasonable sound just as it is. And we could do other things to it. We could put in an echo. And if we put an echo at something like 0.4, 0.5, it gives it kind of tremolo. Is that what that's called? Not exactly an expert at sounds. Now I would put in a fade out and normalize that, and that will get it to be pretty loud. Like that'll be a loud sound now. So I'm going to call that good enough. I'm going to export it as a wave. I already am set up and navigated into the right folder. So I'll call it Crystal. We'll export that. Okay. Now close that file up. That's easily remade. We'll add that sound in. I've already found the audio stream player to keep things rolling quickly. We'll get the inspector and load that wave up into here. We'll code it in. Audio stream player. Play. Okay, about the last thing that needs to happen here is, because the crystal's only going to recognize bodies in a particular group, it's only going to respond to something that is in the group player. So we got to add the player to the group player, which I've already done. And let's see, 2D, let's shrink this assets. We'll get the crystal into the scene. Pull that out. Let's put it underneath the block that's falling, because that would be a body interacting with it. So we'll see that only the player interacts with it. Okay, so the block fell right through it. The player grabbed it, and the HUD updated to show 1 crystal was collected. I notice in the HUD that could be an idea to change this image. Like the green and blue didn't show up very good. Maybe green and red would be a better combination of colors. So maybe I'll update this icon. And the other issue in the HUD is the number spacing. This graphic, when I overwrote the old graphic was twice as wide. This one is only 20 pixels wide. The old one was 40, and that's why this is 45. So if we change that to 25, that will tuck this number over and fix that up. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the level graphics, the level assets portion of things. We could use a jump on the player and other sounds, but I think we'll get to that after the next portion of this series where we make the enemy character. So that's what's upcoming, and I hope this was useful. Take care.